Wake up, Saints. All right. Uh, Today we're going to talk about stimulus checks. All right. And then we're also going to talk about the that peace deal that the UAE and Israel has, or everything, and what does that do with the other players that's in the region with them. All right. So first things first. Looks like the Senate has actually fully went on recess, and they've actually said that the Democrats have to come up with something. Uh, that the most that they'll actually pass is a 1.5 trillion uh, package. The Republicans think that they're not really wanting to pass the package. It's all political, which is not good. When you play political or anything, then you're playing with the deck of cards that may not be a full deck. You're playing with Pelosi, who really isn't a full deck, and Biden, who doesn't even know what a deck of cards is. I'm sorry, I had to say that. But anyways, you got them. Uh, so, uh, Pretty much, the policy is saying that people's gonna die if they don't, at least get a deal going, and if the Republicans don't even compromise on what they want instead, because they want they want to pass a 2 trillion bill. Whether, like I said, Republicans are willing to do 1.5. That's it. Um, Russia has a vaccine uh, called Sputnik. So I don't know what it is. Sputnik something. They really haven't really done a full research on it. United States, that they said that they will actually come up with a vaccine by early 2021. Like I said yesterday, about the the spike. Okay, so that's just hearsay what I'm getting from certain websites. Okay, so I'm not saying that's true. I'm not saying it's false. That's all hearsay, and I've actually been known that they've actually um, been told and paid off to say, hey, this person died of cancer, but say that it's actually coronavirus. This person actually died of a heart attack. It's coronavirus. Stuff like that. Okay, it's been on the thing. They did even say at one time that they counted the flu deaths as the coronavirus. Uh, why? Why, you ask? Well, to scare people. Uh, like right now on Bloomberg, I have the link in the notes, in the descriptions below. Uh, it's the website, everything, just to show on there, everything. I'm gonna start doing them. Start putting on the websites that I get my information from on there, or at the YouTube Scott videos that I get. Put them on there also. A lot of you probably do watch those videos, or go to the website still. Um, there's numbers on there for the coronavirus also. So it's what's called it's called in the description below. Click on them. Go ahead and check them out. And everything. I'm gonna start doing that, so I just back myself up, just so I'm not giving out information and somebody's saying call me out and saying that. Well, everybody else. The other the people that I do know and everything that give me information, they are truthful. But anybody else that watches these videos, besides the other two that actually do comments on my videos, call me out and say that plagiarism. So I just don't want to give out any kind of false information, or say that it was my information that I actually got. It's actually information I'm gathering from the websites. All right, so got that under control and everything. Now for the peace deal. No, again, this is not the peace deal that you're looking for. As Obi-Wan Kenobi says, it's not the peace deal that you're looking for that Daniel had talked about. So now Turkey, or the Prime Minister of Turkey of Erdogan, might what you call it, how can I say this? He may turn his face away from UAE now because of this peace deal that they made with Israel. Because Erdogan don't really like, Turkey doesn't like Israel. And if you read the Bible, it states that Turkey will be in war in the end times with Israel. So with this happening, this is what's going to push more where the war does happen with Israel and Turkey, and with Putin's going to probably stick his nose into it a little more, probably with the Palestinians, and trying to get a deal with the Palestinians and Israel. Hooks in a jaw coming up with Russia, the Magog and Gog war, the Gog and Magog war, which will be coming through into fruition. Still waiting for Syria, which called Damascus. Damascus is getting destroyed, but it's not fully destroyed as a ruinous heap, as it states in the Bible, where it will not be no longer considered a city no more, a livable city. And then, with that being said, everything, it's causing more tension, like an earthquake, or like birth pains. Many of us men do not know exactly what the feeling of birth pains are, but the women do. So just imagine that you're in the third trimester, you're having the contractions happening, you're getting the pain. It's just about time for the baby to pretty much be pushed out. So you have all this pain happening, the back pains, the growing, the how you say it, the canal, the canal area pain, the tailbone. I can say much within my mom. Within she's actually cracked her tailbone because of us kids, and then slipping and falling. It went even more. So just imagine that what's going on right now. The tensions that's happening in the Middle East is comparable to the birth pains that Jesus talks about when he talks about a woman being in labor or close to labor time. The rumors of wars, the Jerusalem being a trembling cup. It's happening. If you don't even know, Google it. So what's been happening like the past years. It's getting bad. It's getting worse and worse. Before, whenever something happened in Gaza or Hamas, it was only the mortars that Israel used. This last time they used airplanes, air fighters, jet fighters, to fire missiles over into Gaza. So it's getting really bad, and then now Israel's gotten really bold, which is good because God is on their side, and they've been hitting sites that in Syria that has to do with Iran sending missiles and ammunition to Hamas, and then the sites in Iran itself, the nuclear sites getting bombed within the inside. This is my speculation. Okay, so by chance that Trump doesn't get elected, reelected, it's gonna push us into war really quick with Israel. Why I say this? Because okay, Biden says that he's for Israel. Israel is basically stating that they'll be okay. They will be okay with Biden being in president. And then his running mate, the wife, I guess, somehow I think it was her husband. I think I think Jewish or something like that. I forgot how it is. They're tied with Jewish and Baptist, and so I don't know exactly how that's gonna work out. I mean, I'd rather have Trump myself. I think yes. Again, he's got a rude nature. That's because he's a businessman. Businessmen, which they're rude. Okay, I'm down with that. It's okay. I mean, he's got to be. But I mean, a lot of stuff that he's done. I mean, 95.5%. I agree with the stuff that he's done. The other 5%. I mean, hey, you you're going to have a president that's not going to like some things that they do. I mean, it's true. Um, did I agree with everything that Obama did? No. Did I go out into the streets and riot and loot and make a, a donkey of myself? No. Why? Because if I was still in the military, which I would have been if I would have made a career out of it, I would have to I would have him as my my chain of command. It happens. You always have a boss that you're gonna like some of the things that they do, and you're not gonna like some of the things that they do. You're gonna be like, okay, well, I don't like that, but you gotta follow it. Just like being the military itself, just military itself. No president. You're gonna have a petty officer, or a captain, or a lieutenant on JG, which is junior grade. That's what the JG stands for. That you're not gonna like. They're gonna give you some kind of thing that you gotta do. Maybe the NCO, which is the non-commissioned officer, is coming onto the ship in 5 days. So you gotta paint. You gotta get all the bright works, which is the brass, anything that's shiny. We call it bright works. Gotta get them all shined up. Gotta get all the P-ways all shiny and clean. The secret is that whenever you say that you're going to clean the bulkhead, you paint over it. You paint over the dirt. And that's the way it's done. And how you do the bright works, you can either use Tabasco sauce or bug juice. Both work. Bug juice is Kool-Aid. Pretty much. The only thing is you use a little bit less water than you would with Kool-Aid itself, and not add sugar to it, because of the acidity. that's in it eats up the tarnish, so the brightworks actually look really bright and shiny. You can actually see a face in there. You can shave. If you can shave in front of one of the brightworks, then it's shiny enough. If you can't see your reflection to shave, it's not shiny enough. You better get back at it. Um, so I mean, you always have some. I mean, just because I was a cook doesn't mean that I cooked 100% of the time. Um, we had details on there called rehab team. Rehab team. What we did was tear down berthings or fix up berthings or excuse me. Oh, it's Corona. I'm just kidding. Just playing with you guys. um, we also did you know paint detail of all the keyways, stuff like that. So I mean, I did cook, some of the times, and I also had, been on the rehab team, which is nice, just so we can, like, I don't get burned out, or anybody else gets burned out of just doing their own division 24/7. I mean, it's kind of like, it's like being on vacation, but it's not because you're still working. Heck, I mean, I had a blast. The last rehab team I was on, you know, we broke the sledgehammer and the HT, which is they do like a lot of the fixing stuff on the ship. But they welded a steel pole to the sledgehammer itself, and which made it really good because then when we hit things or thing, it which kind of made it more powerful because it was more heavier. Uh, I might do something what my friend did, and actually talk about some stories on here. Don't worry, I'll keep it PG. Of course, because like I said, this is a Christian station. I'm not gonna put anything on here that kids shouldn't hear, as in like the cuss words. But it'd be nice at least to share my stories on here, of what I went through, the things that actually, the stories I even heard from when I first got on here too. It was surprised the heck out of my mom because I never told her a lot of the stories. And her husband, I mean, he'll actually be entertained because I mean, I bet his stories wasn't probably PG. His was probably out there too. I've heard some of his stories. Um, let's see. I'm not sure if he, I'm not, not really sure if he actually listens to the stuff on here at all. But if he does, I think he'll actually get entertained. That's pretty much up that I have today. But like I said, one of these days I'll actually get on here and give you the sea stories. Everybody loves a sea story. I wasn't always the like I said, my husband. I was never the walk and talk Christian at the time. That was really one of my. I guess say I didn't hit what's called rock bottom yet on my drinking. I didn't really think I had a drinking problem at the time. Put that way. I look back at it now. I mean, yeah, I did. Those things I did and everything, and so yeah. Well, anyways, God bless. Read the Bible. Google Israel, watch the news. Yes, there's some news out there that you shouldn't watch. Don't get caught up in it. Don't get caught up into, like Trump says, fake news. Do not get caught up in it. There's a lot of fake news out there. Double check it first before you even speculate. Just like whatever the Democrats are, or what CNN says about Trump, or the reporters. Because I mean, the reporters try to twist things, like they said about his the what was that, the VA Choice Act, whatever it was. So I mean, Obama made it, which got passed it, but Trump actually passed a different one that actually tweaked it to make it better for the vets. So check it out. Like I said, the description of what I got. I tried to even say what it was isolation, supposedly to cut down the virus that's flatlining. Like I said, I got my sources. I've been working, getting my sources and everything, which got what's going on and everything. But they say that to cut down everything is the forced isolation, and this is their way of controlling the humans. Why do I say humans? Because there are Nephilims here on Earth. What are Nephilims? What they call aliens. What we like to call, actually, your Nephilims are fallen angels. Like Goliath. Goliath was pretty much a Nephilim, pretty much. He was half Nephilim and half human. That's why he was so tall. Oh yeah. Well, anyways, God bless.